everybody, my name is Tanya and welcome to my ridiculous November TBR. So, most of my TBRs have been ridiculous. That just seems to be the thing I do. But this month seems to be particularly ridiculous. So the first book that I absolutely, completely must get to this month, I've been meaning to read it for a little while now. And I have promised somebody that I'm going to read it, so I'm going to read it. And that is The River of No Return by B. Ridgway. This is Sarah from Sarah Actually Reads' favourite book. If you didn't know this already, you obviously have me watching Sarah's channel, so you should get on that. I've told Sarah it's happening this month, so there you go, it's on the TBR, and I'm going to make it happen. I'm actually really looking forward to it. It sounds really, really interesting, and this cover is beautiful. This is slightly different to the two covers that she's got. It's kind of the trade paperback version of her hardcover. It's got some little gold detailing, which I think is really pretty. Next up, I've joined the read-along of T.H. White's The Once and Future King with the Booktube Reading Buddies Goodreads group. This is something that I've been meaning to read for years, like years, and I just haven't got to. So when I saw that they were doing this as a buddy read this month, I decided that I just had to jump on it, even though I've got lots of other things that I want to read this month. This is a bind-up of the 5 books in the series. The first book, The Sword and the Stone, is the basis for the Disney movie Sword and the Stone, and it was one of my absolute favourite Disney movies growing up. I watched and rewatched and rewatched and rewatched the tape of that so many times. I absolutely adored it. I'm excited to get to this with the group. There's quite a few people that have signed up on there now, so I'm looking forward to discussing this with everybody on there. And the hashtag to talk about this is #TheKingBR. Now, this is going to be my first read-along with the Booktube Reading Buddies group. I'll leave a link to the group and the discussion for this book below. The next read-along that I'm wanting to participate in, and where my TBR's exploded a little bit, but it's not so bad, is Leslie from Words of a Reader is organising a children's reading month, so it's #ReadKidsLit. I'll leave a link to her video announcement for this below, but she's going to read all children's books for the month of November. Same as Leslie, I think that kids' books should be able to be enjoyed by adults as well, and I love reading kids' books too, and there are some classics that I still haven't got to, and it really frustrates me, so I picked a couple of those out. The first book, and a book that I'm ashamed that I haven't read yet, is Black Beauty by Anna Sewell. I haven't got to this. I've been meaning to read this for years, so I'm looking forward to finally getting to it. The second one, and my copy of this is completely falling apart. It was obviously a secondhand copy, but I've never read it, and that is Charlotte's Web by E.B. White. The pages are all falling out. It's gone past yellow into brown. So once I've read this, and if I love it, which I am assuming I'm going to, I might have to go and scope out a pretty edition of this to replace this poor old thing. So if you know of any really nice editions of Charlotte's Web, let me know down in the comments. So they were the original two things that I thought of and thought, oh, I really need to get to these ones. These are things that frustrate me that I've not read. But then my brain started whizzing over and I started thinking of some more things that I really would like to have read already. So I'm going to show them to you now. These are kind of my bonus picks for Read Kids Lit. Just if I get time, then these might be the ones that I'll pick up as well. The first one is A Little Princess by Frances Hodgson Burnett. This one I've seen the movie multiple times, but I've never actually gotten around to the book, and it's been bothering me for a long time. So I'd like to get to this one at some point soon if I can. Next one is The Witches by Roald Dahl. Now this one really bothers me because I loved Roald Dahl as a child. I read so many different Roald Dahls, but I never read this one. And again, I have seen the movie multiple times and love it. I don't know how many times I've seen the Witches movie, but I've never read the book, and I don't know what's wrong with me. And this last one I've only just put on the TBR. I really didn't need to, but it was another one that I've just been reminded about that I'm so frustrated that I've never read. And I was watching the November TBR of Erica from Erica Ray Reads, or Erica Ray Able, I'm not quite sure which one you want to go by, and that was Watership Down by Richard Adams. I have not read Watership Down, and I don't know why, so I'm showing this one as well. I don't think it's going to happen. But this is another one that frustrates me. Next up, I've got something that I meant to get to in October when everyone was doing all the spooky reads, but I didn't get to it. But something that I've got is Horror Store by Grady Hendrix. This was sent to me by the lovely Jane at Yes Miss Jane. I commented on her review of this and she said, oh, I can send it to you if you like, because we live quite close together. And she sent me this, and so I want to get to reading it because I don't want to hang on to it for months and months and months, because she so kindly sent this to me for me to read her copy. And Jane, you really didn't have to, but thank you so much. I've been hearing some really great things about it, and the whole concept really intrigues me. The fact that this looks like an IKEA catalogue and it's a book, and I just love the presentation of it. Obviously Jane is a fellow Aussie and she's recently started making booktube videos, and I'll leave a link to her channel down below. Now moving on to my Agatha Christie quota for the month. I'm putting Murder in the Muse back again because that's the one that I'm up to next. So the short story collection Murder on the Muse that's contained within this Hercule Poirot short story collection. And then the next two are also Poirot stories, so she's really having a huge blitz on Poirot at the moment, and that is Appointment with Death and Hercule Poirot's Christmas. So it's almost a shame that this is falling in November and not getting to December, but it's close enough to the right time of year that it'll be okay. And both of these and Murder in the Muse are first time reads for me, so it will be a month of trying to see whether I can guess who done it and failing miserably. Usually what happens is you think, I'll, kind of try and think about it at the end, and then you keep reading, and then suddenly Poirot's in the middle of his, denouncement. I forgot to think about it again. And by then you've already found out who done it, and you kind of go, oh, yeah, no. I keep always saying that I'm going to stop and I'm going to think about it and see if I can work it out, and it just doesn't happen. I've picked it occasionally, very occasionally, but for the most part I don't, so we'll see how I go with these. And now you understand why I don't actually think I'm going to get to Dreamer's Pool this month. But if I don't get to it this month, and I don't think that I will, this will definitely be a high priority for December. Moving on to audiobooks, I will be continuing on with Bleak House by Charles Dickens. I've got about 5.5 hours to go at the moment. I listened to a couple of hours yesterday, so I've made a bit more progress since the end of October. But about 5.5 hours, so I'm definitely going to finish this week. And then once I've finished Bleak House, instead of dipping into my audiobook TBR jar like I usually do, I'm going to listen to a couple of audiobooks for another read-along. So there's a group dedicated to reading books from the 1001 Books You Must Read Before You Die list, which I am still planning on doing a video about at some point in time, so hopefully that will be soon. All these ideas and just the weekends and the time, and it's just not happening at the moment, but I hope to get some more videos out soon. So the 15th of November they'll be starting a dual read-along of Mrs. Dalloway and then The Hours by Michael Cunningham. So I have been meaning to get to these for a long time too, and it just hasn't happened, but I own both of them in audiobook form. But that's what I'm planning to do for audiobook for the next month. I need to get reading immediately. This is just getting ridiculous. But it's good to have options, right? This is just an options list, not a TBR. Maybe I should start calling them that. Here are some books that Tanya may or may not read in the next month. Well, it's not even that. It's not that they're books that I'm going to, and go grab other books. It's more, these are some books that Tanya's deluded enough to think that she might be able to read in a month, but she doesn't really, and she's not going to, that just kind of trailed off. I'm not expecting that I'm going to get to all of this, but I keep trying to join things. But that's the reason that I joined Booktube, is to interact and to have these conversations with people about books, and the best way to do that is to join a read-along. So these are some things that I'm hoping to participate in the month of November. Just like in August I had the War and Peace and the classical literature read-alongs, which of course we saw how well that went with classical literature. I've just finished it in October, but that's another matter. So these are the books that I'm hoping to get through for the month. Again, remembering that the big Agatha Christie one is just a fraction of it. Then I've got a few more choices for Read Kids Lit, the things I want to complete and then move on to in audiobook form, and something that we won't talk about. So if you've read anything from this TBR, or there's anything that you'd like to comment on, or if you just like to call me an idiot in the comments, please feel free. And thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye!